Te tuatahi I breaking nui ki a koe matuatahi, mō tō karakia I te atanai, he muhi tōni ki te atua. Rāna nei ngā mea katoa. Tuarua ki tō tātou kini, a tūheitia. Me pana whānau I runga I te ahu rewa tapu, pai mahi ki a rātou. Ai he muhi tōni ki ngā tūpuna, ngā maki o tātou katoa, hai a tūrā. Rātou ki a rātou, hātou ki a tātou, ki ngā rātou katoa. Thank you for that incredible introduction. I almost feel like I don't need to say anything. Thank you very much. And you did do your research very well, didn't you? Just a big mihi to everybody who's here. And to all my friends here, are you all filming me right now? It's so lovely to be here. I actually wrote a speech yesterday. I started writing it and I finished it at about 11 o'clock last night. And you know how sometimes things you do in the night don't correspond to the day? So I'm just a little bit worried that, it might not make sense. But we're just going to dive into it and I'm just going to do it, okay? So, as Jean Marie said, I te taha o tōku tāpa, ko tainui te waka, ko ōwhaki te maunga, ko rere waito mō ki waipā te awa, ko Ngāti Mani o poto te iwi, ko Ngāti Uika Harua Pūka te hapu. I joined Waikato Women's Fund in April this year. So I'm a fresh member, and it's an honour for me to stand in front of you all, the supporters of the Waikato Women's Fund, as a new member. I feel fortunate to have the opportunity to share some insight into my story. If I may be so bold, it is my hope that I can inspire you and perhaps through that inspiration contribute in some way to bringing us all closer together as women and as sisters under the mantle of the Waikato Women's Fund. And of course I must also acknowledge all the men in the room. We need your support. It's very, very important. I'd like to start by saying that I believe every woman has a story that is worth sharing and it is worth hearing. So those of us who stand up here before you today, we are not an anomaly. Every single woman is extraordinary. Every single woman is a powerful being. With every moon that ebbs and flows, we have the potential and the ability to create life or not, and to house life or not. That is what we call mana wahine. Because of the whare tangata, the womb or the house of people, and our ability to house entire families and sub-tribes, every woman has huge potential to not only create positive change in ourselves, but to affect change in large groups of people. Am I right? We're on the same page. I see this power and potential every day in the woman I know, but also the woman I hardly know and am fortunate to cross paths with. There are also times where I realised it, lived it and breathed it myself in my own life. We are daughters, sisters, mothers, grandmothers, wives, partners. Therefore, by default, we are life givers, nurturers, teachers, healers, and leaders. I believe the majority of us don't even know our own power. The reality is, we can be untouchable and we can be unstoppable if we so wish. So I'd like to acknowledge each of you for making it here today, to this space, to this event, this room, this study, and at this time of the morning. Well done. I'd like to acknowledge the people and the places that you are from, as well as the unique and important journey that belongs to you and you alone. I reiterate again that it is a huge honour for me to stand before you all and have the opportunity to share some of the experiences, places and people who have influenced me in my journey as a woman coming into my own power. So, just a little bit about me. I am a comedic yoga instructor, and I've just finished 18 months of training as a facilitator of women's safety groups at Hamilton Abuse and Detention Project. I also do work full-time as the manager to Te Kani and his companies, and yes, he does get to be my little brother. So Mum is English and Scottish, and though Dad was from Waikato Caves, he was sent to Christchurch in the 1960s, and it was there that my siblings and I were born and raised. Due to being so far away from home, we were isolated from whānau, and we lived in a community where there were only a few Māori families. Everyone else was Pākehā and either conservative, a hippie, or they were of the Sugut faith. Growing up in a predominantly Pākehā community, I soon realised that my sister Moors and I, as well as the few other Māori girls in our community, were different and we were a minority. Moors and I attended Avonside Girls High School, which is where our mother, our auntie and our grandmother went to before us. My first ever experience of knowing my power as a woman was when I stood up to my lovely, gentle father. Perhaps for the first time ever at the age of 15. We were debating something and I defiantly opposed his opinion on it because I fiercely did not agree. I recall seeing a mixture of both awe and fear in Dad's eyes, and he immediately backed down. Yeah, that was the beginning for me of really understanding how powerful I can be as a woman, and it was such a potent experience that Dad still talks about it now. He refers to it as the time he learnt of my whanawahi. Yeah. So Mum and Dad separated, and I changed from Avonside Girls High to Hagley College, which was an adult adolescent school. I signed up for a year of women's studies, and it was through this course that I first learned about the oppression of women through history and different cultures, but in particular here in Aotearoa. I fell into alcohol and drugs at the age of 16 and into the Christchurch punk scene. I recall my 18th birthday while flatting. I wrote an alluring poem inviting women of different kinds, colours, shapes and sizes to come and celebrate my birthday at home with me. It was an open invitation. It asked that they come wearing their favourite colour and come in good spirits. On the day, around 40 women turned up and squeezed into my bedroom, all resplendent in their different colours. And what a blast we had, getting to know each other all day and night. That night, we walked as a group to a concert in town, and it was quite a sight for sore eyes. Such a large, colourful group of women walking and chanting with arms linked, while people stopped and watched with their jaws dropping. That whole experience was the beginning for me of really understanding how powerful sisterhood can be. To the point that women who are complete strangers to each other can come together and generate such kinship, connection and energy. A year later, I moved to Auckland, where I became a peep show dancer and a stripper. Working in this role in one of the oldest industries in existence taught me not only the vulnerability of women, but also reinforced for me the immense power of women. One way that I experienced this was via the many different shades of the male gaze, which varied from complete objectification and entitlement to complete worship and adulation. Despite that the industry was run by men, it was of course heavily populated by women. In the strip clubs, there would be anywhere between 3 to 12 girls working on a shift. I would often go and sit with the girls in the massage parlour next door while we all waited for our next job. It was in these environments that I developed friendships with a wealth of women from all walks of life, all ages and all cultures. There were mothers working in order to care for their children. There were students working, to pay for their studies. There were women who held down legitimate careers by day and worked by night. There were foreign women whose husbands had sent them to work. There were women who were hiding their jobs from their husbands and families. Young girls who fell into it straight out of school. Girls whose mothers had done it and they didn't know any different. They just followed suit. You name it, we had it. The more I learnt about these women, the more I grew to really love and respect women and all of our diversity. While the strip club environment could get competitive and even catty at times, it was the sisterhood amongst us that was most extraordinary. And that was the quality which I loved to foster. Keeping the morale up behind the scenes, helping my sisters rise up above and beyond the dramas we were facing, and not only the job but our personal lives too. The male bosses always used to get intimidated by the sense of sisterhood we could create, because they could feel the power of it. It was unspoken, but they knew that if we were not happy as a collective, there was always the potential of an uprising of epic proportions. I spent 4 years in the sex industry, and after leaving, I quit alcohol and drugs also, and yes, I've now been clean and sober for 18 years. At the age of 23, I embarked upon a mission to reconnect with my dad's whānau and culture. His mother, Inu Waimuru, had passed away by then, but the stories of her mana reverberated through all who knew her and left a huge impact on me. I used to ponder her reality and the fact that she birthed 18 children throughout her life. I've had 3 children, and I cannot even begin to fathom how life would have really been for her in terms of her physical, mental and emotional well-being. Nani Moru was a native speaker. By all accounts, she was a traditionalist, an incredibly hard-working woman around her home and around the community, a healer who worked with native medicine, and it was apparently also not uncommon to see her wielding traditional weaponry during our cultural ceremonies. In terms of my own journey reconnecting back to my father's people, it is Nani Moru who I consider to be my main shining light that guides me upon that journey. I have a long way to go. Other women who inspired me throughout my upbringing were my mother and her mother, Nana Phil, who has also passed on now. She was old school English and Scottish. She taught us how to knit, how to write a really good letter, how to recycle wrapping paper, year after year after year, how to do crosswords, but how to complete crosswords, how to walk every day for our health, eat veggies, have etiquette, always be polite to people and use our manners, and to care for others and be of service. Over the years, I also worked under the mantle of some incredible female mentors, often pioneers across different industries: film and television, Māori public health, event management, fitness. When I became a mother, my whānau and I moved to Hamilton, where I soon took on the role as manager to my brother, Te Kani. The 16-year relationship was the father of my 3 children. Over those years, I became isolated, insecure, and unconfident. I barely spoke of my past. I hid the truth of my relationship from my whānau, and I struggled to find a way to leave what I knew to be a toxic and often dangerous situation for myself and my children, due to a stubborn belief that I was lucky to even have the father of my children around. One of the lifelines for me during that time was 12 years ago when we joined Waikato kapahaka Te Pauamana Tāwhiri from Ngāruawāhia. As I'd never done kapahaka before, I spent my first 5 years on the sideline, supporting my children's father and supporting the group with fitness programs and general administration. Eventually, I got in the lines and learnt kapahaka for a few years, and it was throughout this time within the ranks of the women that I truly encountered a whole other level of mana wahine. being amongst such fearsome and extraordinary exponents of this expression of our culture and values. There were many other key events and environments in my life that stand out in terms of learning of the power of women. One of these was in 2016, after my separation. I travelled with 2 other women, one of them's here, Sister B, and 3 men, to the North Dakota occupation of Standing Rock. It was here that I again experienced the beautiful korowai or cloak that is sisterhood. Through unspoken connection, respect and trust, when uniting with Indigenous women of other nations on the front line. It was truly something very special. When I returned home from Standing Rock, I was faced with the worst trauma of my life. When I lost contact and care of my children for 1 year, with no opportunity to be heard in court, or to stand against the claims made against me, I knew I had a long fight on my hand. But it was the most important fight I could ever take up. I ended up taking a whēkoi or a march to Parliament to petition for an inquiry. Thank you, cousin. Got your lipstick on it. That's what we're doing, Sharesies. I ended up taking a whēkoi or a march to Parliament to petition for an inquiry into the family court system. I was very fortunate to have some incredible women join me on that whēkoi, one of them is here, in a profound gesture of trust, support and commitment. And to this day, I maintain the vow I made to them that should they ever need the same gesture in return in this lifetime, I will provide that to them and their whānau anytime they call on me. Alright, let's get through that part. At the end of 2017, my children were returned to my care by the family court. There is a silver lining. I'm sorry to have taken you through that, everyone. One of the most beautiful things that happened after my children were returned was the news that my 14-year-old daughter was hapu. She has been through quite the journey over the last couple of years. She has experienced things that young women should not have to experience. Yet through it all, I have watched her exercise huge maturity, diligence and resilience that is streaks beyond anything I have ever known or witnessed. I am so proud of her for rising beyond the assumptions and the judgment of others and taking up the mantle of being an incredible, devoted mother to my beautiful mokopuna. She truly is one of my greatest inspirations and heroes, and I'm proud to be her mother. So, this all brings me back to April this year, when I ended up at the Waikato Women's Fund website. I am involved in a couple of wellbeing projects, and as a mother who has experienced trauma, with a daughter who has experienced trauma, I am often curious to learn what initiatives or entities there are to support women in this region. I'm also aware that there are some incredible women in Waikato doing incredible things for women who may need support, some of whom are sitting at my table, and I'm sure that there are many others in this room alone. I was rapt to discover that the Waikato Women's Fund, a community of generous women who work together to create opportunities for women and girls here in Waikato. To me, the fund's very existence hints at new hope and new potential for women in Waikato today. The fact that there is an entity devoted to the well-being and potential of women is a huge relief. And the fact that we can donate any amount in order to become a member actually speaks volumes to the openness of the kaupapa. I would like to acknowledge those who established the fund and also those who support the fund. And thank you, Michelle, for inviting me to come and speak today also. In closing, if you were to ask me what is my vision for young women growing up in Waikato, I will most probably reply that I will need to consult with my daughter first. The climate, technology and environment that our young women are growing up in today is worlds apart from that of my upbringing. I have some ideas around issues that we face, but I do not claim to know what is best. So I suppose that in itself says a lot. That perhaps my vision for young women in Waikato is that as the young leaders of this world and space, they be directly involved in forging the pathway into the best way forward. Ultimately, my hope would be that young Waikato women can find initiatives here that support them to have a voice, to find wellness, to feel freedom, and ultimately to discover their power. I hope that my story in some way helps somebody here, even if it is that you might have found a piece of yourself connecting with a small part of myself. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to share this morning. I reiterate again that it is a huge honour for me to stand before you, the incredible nurturers, teachers, healers and leaders of Waikato, of your families, your communities. I hope that if not today, then someday in the future, I get to meet you in person and have the privilege of hearing your story. E kore e mutu ngā humihi, kia koutou katoa I ngā rauranga tirama, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.